Assalamu alaikum and welcome to a new episode of M+Bites. Today we check out Milliy Uzbek Cuisine in North Hollywood and Burbank. I hope you're being safe in this COVID crisis. This was an episode that we recorded a while back. Please keep us in your duas and keep everybody else in your duas as well. So this is the fried Chuchvara. I don't know if you can hear the crunch. It's absolutely delicious. Like I was just talking to the owner and his wife. They're talking about how you get mantis that are small and the big ones. These are small, and they said it's more delicious, and I totally get it because you see there's more surface area for this beautiful crust, and that flaky texture that you get with the meat inside, it's like a pocket of goodness. It's really good. I highly recommend you try the fried chuchvara. Next up, I'm going to try the Samsa. I think of this as a samosa, basically. That's what it reminds me of. And just to see how these guys do it. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I didn't actually order this. They complimentary added it to the table. This stuffing is absolutely delicious. Like anything with caramelized onions is gonna taste good. I need to read into what they actually put in here. I need to ask them. This is delicious. It's got the sweetness in it. And the crunch that you get from puff pastry, absolutely fantastic. I've had Samsa before. I've had Samsa multiple times. This is my favorite Samsa so far. It's maybe because I'm not expecting the flavor to be in this particular profile. I was expecting it to be more meaty, more gamey. It's not that. This is completely different nuance. This is good. Just get it. So we're gonna try the Blinchiki now. Now, when I asked them to describe this, they were like, "Oh, it's got chicken in it. It's delicious." And I was like, "They're so confident in the description. This should be good." It reminds me of almost like a crepe. Let's try it. Oh, that is good. Very fluffy. It's like a cloud. Yeah, if you were to imagine what a cloud would taste like, it's probably like this. This is nice. It reminds me of potatoes. It's heavenly. The chicken is very lightly seasoned. It's like minced meat, like minced chicken, sorry, in here with some subtle spices in there. I think it works. This is really good. I mean, for me, Samsa was the bomb still, but this is good. It's like a very light, fluffy crepe, basically, with chicken in the middle. I'd love to have this for suhoor or something if I was fasting in Ramadan. I'll probably get this. So now that I actually think about it, a Blinchiki basically is a Bellini. If you Google it, that's basically what you end up with. And that makes sense because the Bellini is basically a crepe that's been folded over and there's ingredients in the middle. This is basically what it is. It's a stuffed crepe. And if you're like me and you haven't had those pretty often, this is pretty good. I really like it. So I'm having the Plov. I can see carrots and I'm pretty sure this is lamb. Oh, that's good. It's tender. Doesn't have that gamey taste. Sometimes you're expecting that. It doesn't have that. They get this thing called a Çäkçäk on the side. It's basically a salad. It's got dill. It's got cucumbers, onions. It's nice. It's very bright. The dill. I don't know if it's the quality of the dill, but it's a very strong flavor that comes through. They're coming back to this plov. It's a slightly different flavor profile to what you probably tried at like places like Omar's, which is a weaker cuisine, but there's an overlap of sorts in the kind of food that they have. This is probably a little less oily, but it has the flavors there. This is good. If you're in Burbank and you're near this restaurant, you need to try it. So this is the Lagman, and it's a little different than what I'm used to. I've typically had Lagman in a plate with not so much broth in it, but this is a different interpretation, I guess, and I'm curious to see what it tastes like. There's a bunch of veggies in this, which is a good thing. Pretty sure this is beef, so let's try the meat first. Oh yeah, that's good. It's different. It's definitely a different. So if you've not had like food from either Kyrgyzstan or Uzbekistan and so on, their flavor profile is a little different than perhaps like Indian food or Arabic food or whatever, because the way they use spices is very different, right? So you won't be expecting like a punch to your face when it comes to spices. It's very delicate. It's very subtle. So you can taste a lot of dill in this. I can definitely taste like the veggie flavor of the soup itself. The Lagman's decent. For me, like, if you see the texture of the noodles itself, this is very uniform. So you notice like it's almost perfectly square. If you remember when I showed how Lagman was being made in the hand, it's typically hand pulled, right? So what they take is they take the dough and they slap it. They start going all the way through. Kind of like in the Umar's clip that I have on YouTube. So this is a little different. So the texture is a little different too because it's uniform. And the crunch is, when you bite into it, it's a little softer than what you expect. And that's not a bad thing, it's how it's made at this particular restaurant. It's pretty decent. But I would say if you had to pick one, I'd take the Plov over the Lagman. I like the fact that they took the veggies and had this beautiful, rich veggie soup, and they have this concoction there of like the meat and the noodles in it. Together, it works. It's different than what you're expecting if you've had Lagman before. So we're gonna try Çäkçäk. Big and Kunoza, who are the owners of this restaurant, they were kind enough to make this. I don't see this on the menu, so it's supposed to be one of their national dishes. Let me first try this on the side. Interesting, it reminds me of biscuits, but pretty sure it's dough with simple syrup. I'm guessing this is ice cream. Let's try it. Yeah, I think this is vanilla ice cream, but this, I'm gonna try it with the crispy goodness. I like that, but I like anything sweet, so I'm a little biased. If you're here and if you're nice enough, then you get Çäkçäk. So. So this concludes our review of the Milliy Uzbek restaurant here in Burbank, California. I think overall the food's great. The monkey was absolutely delicious. I would definitely get that again. The what was the other name? The Blinchiki was nice. If you've never had a Bellini before, I haven't had one in ages. It's really good. The Plov was really nice. You get these fantastically, I'm pretty sure they're oven baked garlic, which adds a whole other level of flavor to the rice itself. I think that was great too. So, if you're ever in the Burbank area and you really have good halal food, there's Kayat's Kitchen, which is nearby, and there's Milliy. I hope I'm pronouncing the name right. Uzbek restaurant. There's actually an Indian restaurant across the street too. So you have three pretty decent halal restaurant options in Burbank itself. If you're ever in the area, please do give them a try. And I hope you enjoyed this episode. Assalamu alaikum. Back in his lovely family serves.